All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. I think first we want to bring your attention to the Soil and Water Conservation Society. The Iowa chapter does have memberships available, and you can do that via payroll deduction if you're a USDA employee. So if you work at the districts, get a good deal on that. There's lots of benefits to a membership. We support the local, national, and international soil and water conservation, but locally supports our activities to bring you more events like this webinar, plus the networking. Plus, we have a conference coming up in Des Moines this summer. Can you remind me the dates on that, Hannah?
July 26th through 29th.
July 26th through 29th? 3-day. All right, 3-day conference. I should know that as the incoming president, but you know, sometimes those things escape my mind. So that'll be at the Iowa Event Center. It's going to be really good, and we're happy to have it back in Iowa, especially for the 75th anniversary of the Soil and Water Conservation Society. We'll have registration for that out soon, I believe. So keep an eye on your inbox for that. Probably the same spot you found out about this webinar. Registration for, if you want to be a member of SWCS, is available online, by the way. SWCS.org is the website. All right, we're going to move on to the webinar today. Chris Jones is our speaker. Chris Jones is a research engineer at IIHR-Hydroscience and Engineering at the University of Iowa. He manages the university's network of water quality sensors and conducts research on nutrient and sediment transport from agro-ecosystems of the US Cornbelt. Previously, he worked at the Des Moines Water Works and the Iowa Soybean Association. He has a PhD in chemistry from Montana State University and a BA in chemistry and biology from Simpson College.
So I have a website, and I always post my presentations, and you can go to my website and get the slides if you want them, or I also write essays and post them there in that section called blog posts. If you're interested in that, feel free to go there. And so the main purpose of my job is to manage the university's network of water quality sensors. And you can see one of the sites here on a small screen. This network has been in place in one form or another since about 2012, measuring water quality around the state of Iowa at about 70 sites. You can see there where they're at. Many of these sites have been funded through the Iowa Nutrient Research Center here in Iowa State. A number of other ones are funded through the Iowa Watershed Approach Project, which is money from the Housing and Urban Development. And then we also harvest data from USGS water quality sites. In any given year, there's about 10 to 15 of those. And so we measure nitrate in all of the sites. And we measure those other parameters there at about 20 to 25 sites. So this is a site on the Wapsipinicon River near Gwinnett, Iowa. You can see the sensors. They slide down through that PVC pipe, which is perforated at the bottom to allow flowing river water to immerse the sensor. Up on the bank, we have a dry box with a solar panel, deep cycle battery, a data logger, and a modem that sends the data back to Iowa City in 15-minute packets. And so this is all sent on to our water quality information system. So here's another site. This is Northeast Iowa. This site is measuring water quality going in and out of a crepe wetland up there near the town of Osage. So as I said, this data is all streamed onto the water quality information system. This is really an incredible tool, and if you haven't used it before, I invite you to go to it. And so you can click on any of the sites and you can see what water quality is in real time. The sites are color-coded based on the nitrate concentration at any one time. We do pull the sensors in the winter, and so, or we pull most of them in the winter, and so some of them, there's not a lot of them out in the water yet. We've just started deploying here this week. I think we have maybe 10 to 15 sites right now where the data is available. So when you click on one of the sites, it delineates irrigates the upstream watershed area, along with giving the water quality data in real time. So there's also really an excellent land cover tool you can use on the website. You can click on any spot in the state of Iowa and delineate the upstream area from the spot you clicked on, and then show you what the land covers are in that watershed based on the IIHR high-resolution land cover database. So that's that. That's what a lot of what I do. There's 2 staff people that work in the field to keep the thing running, and we have a web developer to keep the website running, and so that's the main reason for my job is to manage the program. So I also do research of my own here using that and other data sets. I work pretty closely with Keith Schilling, the Iowa Geological Survey, who's now state geologist, and we do research on sediment and nutrient transport and contaminant hydrology here in Iowa as it relates to agriculture. And of course, before Europeans got here, I think everybody knows this is what Iowa looked like. We had the wetlands. On the top there, the oak savanna, and the lower left, and the tall grass prairie, and the lower right. Of course, all that stuff is gone, and we farm it all now. And we sort of cling to this sort of image about what our farms look like. And we have this sort of imagination that we've retained a lot of the natural function around Iowa. Of course, we haven't, and our farms don't really look like this anymore. They look like a very monoculture system. I think a lot of you maybe have seen this picture here. We have this farm in Winnebago County in northern Iowa in 1941. We see all the diverse land uses that we had on our farms that time, and then we see in 1976, we've largely converted the entire farm to corn and soybean. So there's still a little bit of oats there in 1976, a little bit of hay, and of course, in the present day, those acres would be gone as well, and cropped corn and soybeans. And so this loss of diversity on our farms is real characteristic of the entire state. It's really affected water quality in our streams and lakes. And so a lot of people kind of have this idea that this all happened in the mid-70s, and I'm of the opinion that it was a much more gradual conversion there. It didn't happen all at once. We like to talk about the fence row story that Earl Butts talked about when he was Secretary of Agriculture, but I think this conversion really happened, or began to happen long before that. So, now this is what Iowa agriculture looks like. We have these monocultures of corn and soybeans that, provide feedstock to the hog industry there in the middle, and the ethanol industry at the bottom. This is really the foundation of Iowa agriculture, and so this is what we really are working with as we try to enhance the water quality here in the state. And so a lot of this system happened because of these 3 guys. Upper left is Fritz Haber. Probably everybody knows who he was. Invented the process to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. The lower left there, that's Carl Bosch. He industrialized the process, made nitrogen fertilizer and widely available following World War II. And then on the right there is this guy named W.A. Stanley. He was in the food business, or Staley, excuse me. He was in the food business, and he was the first one to really realize that soybeans would have a real widespread application and would be usable throughout agriculture as a feedstock for livestock and for other products. And so he really encouraged the cultivation of soybeans throughout the 1930s up to the 1950s. So, you know, we like to think about corn as being a real driver to the problems here we have with nutrients in our streams and the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. But in my mind, this is really almost more closely linked to soybean. And so you see this graph here, soybean area in Iowa, going back to 1945, and how that really correlates quite well with the use of commercial fertilizer in the state. And so as we got rid of our clover crops, our alfalfa, we concentrated livestock, you know, we needed commercial fertilizer to fertilize the corn. You know, we didn't have the green manures or the livestock manure to fertilize many of our corn acres. And so the introduction of soybeans really went hand in hand with the introduction of commercial nitrogen fertilizer. And so really this landscape change is really responsible for a lot of the water quality problems that we have now. And of course, we all know what these problems are. There on the left, we have the drinking water utility in Des Moines. It's been removing nitrate from the water since 1992. We have, you know, our own lakes here in Iowa. That's McBride Lake in the upper right there. Suffer from these blue-green algae blooms that degrade the quality of our water resources for recreation, aquatic life, and various other things. And then, of course, we have the dead zone down in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, our nutrients that leave the state ultimately enter the Mississippi River and the Gulf, where we have these algae blooms that cause a hypoxic condition. And of course, we're really aware of that and trying to solve that. So, as we try to improve water quality here in Iowa, you know, what's the roadmap? And right now, it's the nutrient strategy. And I don't imagine there's anybody that hasn't heard of the nutrient strategy. It's our main policy tool to address these problems with the intention that we reduce the loss of nitrogen and phosphorus to our streams by 45%. So, if you don't know, there was a science assessment done for the nutrient strategy back in 2012, evaluated the various practices that would help us reduce nutrient loss from fields to streams. These are practices here. It's maybe changed some here recently. We have oxbows now as a improved practice. And we have book values for these things about the expected benefit they're going to have on water quality. And then these practices are eligible for cost share from the state if farmers want to implement them. So, one thing I try to emphasize in my work and my writing is that all the things that we do are good in terms of implementation and farmers adopting these practices, but you know, at the same time, we're continuing to do some things that are, you know, make the problem worse. And so, first, in terms of nitrogen, we know that much of our landscape is tiled, and we know for certainty that this is the primary delivery mechanism for nitrate and dissolved phosphorus from farm fields to the stream network. And of course, Iowa's been drained for a long time. Much of our tile was put in before 1920. You can see that on the left there, the construction of the trapezoidal ditches. And we continue to improve and expand the drainage system doing this at the same time we're trying to implement practices that reduce nitrate loss. So this expansion of the drainage system, and here's an aerial view. We can see this is, I believe this is the Watson-Pennington watershed. We can see pretty much everything is tile. We know that anymore. So we had this fellow here, Jared Glosser. He's an undergraduate student here. He's been working with Keith and I to do tile mapping on these Iowa watershed approach watersheds. And so Jared's also a wrestler on the Iowa wrestling team. So he works with us and looks at these various aerial photos, some other information. And this is some of his work here where we're digitizing the tiles and then estimating the amount of tile that's going in these watersheds from aerial photos from year to year. So he's also using some soil data and other information like slope and so forth to help inform what he's doing. So we can see here that just in the middle seam, okay, this is one Huck 8, 56 Huck 8s in Iowa, about 1,200 miles of new tiles going in every year. So just in the middle seam, and calculating what the expected increase in nitrate delivery would be from that 1,200 miles new tile. Well, that you can see there, I have there, 136 wood chip bioreactors, 3 prep wetlands, and 7,000 acres of cover crops. Every year, that's the equivalent that we're increasing the nitrate load in the middle seeder with this new tile. So we can see these other watersheds there, the dollar value of the tile that's going in every year there, the middle seeder, the Wapsie, the English, North Raccoon, Upper Iowa River, Clear Creek watershed. And we think about that, those dollar values relative to what we're spending in those watersheds for conservation. It sort of puts things into context what we're up against. So, again, to give you some context, Slough Creek is a tributary to the Cedar River. This is in northeast Iowa. It's the second, there's a crepe wetland there. We have sensors on the inlet and the outlet. And this is the second biggest crepe wetland in Iowa. So out of about 90 of them, I think this is the second biggest. And from our monitoring there, you can see that thing is sequestering about 49,000 kilograms of nitrogen per year and removing about 58% of the incoming nitrogen. That sounds like a big number, 49,000 kilograms, but downstream at the mouth of the Cedar River, that's only 0.07% of the load. And so, we would need 621 of these crepe wetlands just in the Cedar River watershed to meet this 45% load reduction. So at the same time we're putting in all this new tile, we're trying to, sort of sprinkle the landscape with these crepe wetlands. And, it's just a monumental task we've got. And so again, some of Jared's work on the tile, we've estimated the amount of money being spent on new tile, the different landforms there. So you can see the Iowa surface and southern Iowa drift plain, that's where all the new tile is going in. The Des Moines Road was tiled a long time ago. So we don't have a lot of new tile going in there. We're putting tile in places that traditionally have not required it. There's lots of reasons for that. One being the banks will loan money for it. Another, it's getting so wet here in Iowa. We have other places that need tile to maximize crop production. So again, we think about the is being spent on new tile every year relative to the amount being spent on nitrogen reducing practices. We got a little bit of a balance problem. And so at the same time we're putting in all this tile, we're also increasing the number of hogs in Iowa. It keeps increasing pretty steadily. You can see going from about 14 million hogs to about 25 million, and of course those hogs generate manure and nutrients in the manure, and this has effects on the water quality. I think everybody's probably seen this map. We have on the order of 7,000 CAFOs here in Iowa, hog confinement CAFOs. They're not evenly distributed. They're concentrated in certain areas of the state, especially northwest Iowa, north central Iowa, and just south of Iowa City here in Washington County. And so some of our work here, we evaluated water quality in these 9 tributaries to the Missouri River. You see them there top to bottom: Rock, Floyd, Monona Harrison Ditch, the Little Sioux, the Soldier, the Boyer, West Ditch, East Ditch, and Nottoway. We had all those watersheds censored, collecting continuous nitrate data. I was able to get input data, county level input data from this data source posted on USGS's website. And then I derived the input amounts for the watersheds from this county level data. Those 9 watersheds I showed you. So we see here on the left, the amount of commercial nitrogen fertilizer plus the amount of nitrogen fertilizer generated by manure. And we can see there on the Floyd Rock, we're well above 350 kilograms per hectare. So, maybe 320 to 340 pounds per acre being generated or purchased up there per corn hectare or per corn acre. And then we also see on the right there the Floyd Rock. The rock also had the highest nitrate levels. Likewise, the East Ditch and the Nottoway have the lowest input levels, and they also have the lowest nitrate levels. And so we really know for a certainty that these high density livestock areas are also the ones that are really likely to be impaired with elevated nitrate levels. So we see the same thing in the South Fork of the Iowa River, and down here, south of here, westward Crooked Creek in Washington County, a very high nitrate streams, and these are areas where we have high density of livestock, and where the amount of manure nutrients being generated is not really diminishing the amount of commercial fertilizer use. So this graph here shows the surplus. So the surplus is the commercial nitrogen plus the manure nitrogen plus that fixed by soybeans minus the nitrogen that's leaving the field in the grain. And then that's on our x-axis there. On the y-axis, I have the flow-weighted average nitrate concentration. And we see here there's a pretty strong correlation. The surplus is explaining about 80% variation in the flow-weighted average nitrate concentration. So, there's really just no doubt that this intensification of livestock is having an effect on our streams in these areas. So a lot of this is all published in this paper here, and this is not an open access paper. If you're interested in it, you can email me and I can send you a copy. Some of our other work here, where we did some trending of statewide nitrogen loading. And you can see here, this is the 5-year running annual average, which is what the Gulf Hypoxia Task Force is using to evaluate loading to the Gulf. And this data is an aggregation of various sources, including that, collected by DNR through the Ambient Monitoring Network, data generated by us through the sensor network. I use that to calculate these statewide loadings, and then loadings to the upper Mississippi River Basin, which is in blue, loading to the Missouri River in brown, and the Iowa toll in green. And so we can see that the 5-year running average, annual average for the state has doubled since 2003. Streams draining to the Mississippi increased about 75%, and then streams draining to the Missouri have increased 188%. And so there seems to be something different going on in these areas of western Iowa draining to the Missouri River, and perhaps it's this intensification of livestock, especially in northwest Iowa, Rock, Floyd, Little Sioux. Maybe tile is becoming more common in western Iowa. I don't really know, but things do seem to be different out there. But you can see that we clearly are not reducing the amount of nitrogen leaving the state in our streams. So that data is all published in this paper, and this is open access. You can get to this one pretty easy. So in that paper here, this +1 paper, we show this this nitrogen loading, and so this graph shows the area draining to the Missouri and the Iowa fraction of the nitrate load discharged and then the land area. So we have 3.3% of the land in the Missouri River Basin contribute 12% of the water and contribute 55% of the nitrogen. So you can see in some of these years, the Missouri River would have almost no nitrate were it not from contributions from Iowa. 2003, 2006, 2011. This is streams draining to the east, the upper Mississippi. We have 21% of the land, 21% of the water, and 45% of the nitrate. And then down to the Gulf, we have 4.5% of the land, about 6% of the water, and 29% of the nitrate. So this is data from, again, the sensor network and DNR ambient monitoring network. This is nitrogen loss per crop acre out of these areas. And so we can see here, we're losing an enormous amount of nitrogen on some of these watersheds. And so up there in northwest Iowa, that's clearly livestock driven, I would say. Northeast Iowa, we have a little bit different issues up there. The yellow in the upper Iowa, turkey. We have thin topsoils. This karst topography. I think this is one area of the state where we do get some direct loss of fertilizer to the stream. A lot of these other areas, the nitrogen is cycling through the soil over many weeks or months or even years before it gets to the stream. I think in northeast Iowa, we're probably getting a direct connection there because of the soils and the slopes. Over the long term, we're losing about 27 pounds per acre to our streams. So some of our phosphorus work here, just recently published. He is the first author here. You look at these sites, the data from these sites going back to 2000. Again, from the DNR ambient monitoring network, we used the LODES model, the WRTES model, to estimate statewide phosphorus loading. You can see what that looks like going back to 2004. Much more variability from year to year, from These are the areas of the state where we have the most phosphorus loss. You can see there southwestern, southern Iowa especially, and also the Turkey River. Of course, phosphorus loss corresponds pretty closely with slope. So we have these here hillier landscapes. Southern and western Iowa, the phosphorus will attach very tenaciously to soil particles and enters the streams with soil erosion. So statewide, there you can see from 2003 to 2017, we're losing about 3 pounds per crop acre. We contribute about 15% of the load to the Gulf of Mexico for phosphorus. And so, again, moving forward here, I've been doing some work for EDF on some nutrient budgeting, nitrogen budgeting for the state of Iowa. And I'm looking at these budgets going back to 1999. Again, I want to put this into the context of the nutrient strategy. As we try to implement practices and reduce nutrient loads to our streams, we really need to be looking at these other things that we're doing. And so there on the left, you can see how much these different categories have changed since 1999. And so we've increased our total inputs since 1999 by 660,000 metric tons. And to do that, we produced another 330,000 metric tons of grain nitrogen. So, we're really having to sort of supercharge this system to squeeze out these last few bushels. So this is going to have consequences. We can see the percent change on the right there, how things have changed. So, stream nitrogen is increasing quite a lot there. Actually, the river would be over 100% with the new data. You see the various manures, how they've increased the nutrient or the nitrogen content of the manures. At the same time, we're increasing our inputs of commercial fertilizer. So, how is this going to work with the nutrient strategy? We have what? 50 bioreactors and 90 wetlands, and 4% of our acres in cover crops. And I think it's just really unreasonable to think that we're really going to conquer this problem while we continue to expand and intensify the system. I think we really do the taxpayers and the public a disservice by not talking about this. So we have people that really openly talk about Iowa, doubling its hog population. I wonder how is that going to work? How can we possibly think we're going to solve this water quality issue as we continue to put in thousands of miles of tile, continue to increase the hog population, continue to increase the amount of commercial fertilizer that we use, and these things really dwarf what we're trying to do for water quality. I think our institutions just have not been forthcoming enough with the public about what we're up against here. So I'll just end with this slide. I think this is the last one. Another thing we're up against here is climate change. So the Raccoon River, I think we know this is one of our higher nitrate streams, a high-profile stream, source of drinking water. And we look at what precipitation has been over the last century here. We can really see how climate change is also going to be a huge challenge for us in solving these water quality problems. We know that nitrate is a very soluble contaminant, and we put more water on the landscape, more of that surplus is going to enter the streams. And so You can see when we divide the precipitation record up into 250-year halves, Raccoon River watershed got more than a meter of precipitation one time in that first 50 years there, from 1920 to 1969. In the last 50 years, 15 times we exceeded 1 meter of precipitation. Likewise, we look at dry years, less than 600 millimeters of precipitation, 9 times, 1920 to 1969. Only 2 times since then, and the last time it was below 600 millimeters was, I believe, 1981. So we're really getting wetter. We're putting in more tile in response to that. We know the tile is the primary delivery mechanism for the soluble nitrogen, and at the same time it's getting wetter and we're putting in more tile. We're also putting more nitrogen inputs out there onto the field. So I think we really need to try to get our heads around this intensification of the system. How we're going to move forward with this. And, having a few percent of cover crops, and a handful of bioreactors, a handful of wetlands, it's really not going to cut it. We've got an enormous landscape problem here, and we really need some people that can sort of come to grips with this and deal with it honestly. So I think that's my last slide, and I'll be happy to take any questions.